do you find that it's a challenge to juggle multiple CDMOs, or are you only working with one at a time? Have you ever considered kind of a larger CDMO that's kind of a full service turnkey, you know, that can grow along with you? What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, you know, I think there's pros and cons to both, right? A larger CDMO may have the capabilities, but you know, a larger CDMO comes with its own baggage. They're not as nimble in the early stages, and what we find is that you know, large CMOs that have manufacturing capability, that's the eventual goal for them, is to get manufacturing contract. The CDMO is really the initial carrot that they offer and gets a company in the foot in the door. So we feel that sometimes smaller companies with a more focused early development gives you a better customer service, better offering, better capabilities than a full service. We actually don't mind sometimes switching from one to the other and doing the tech transfer work. Ideally, if you get both in a partner that are equally good, clearly the better choice. But there aren't that many that can do both sides of the work equally well.
Bethany, I want to bring you into this conversation. You know, aside from some of the CDMO or CMO attributes that have just been mentioned by Sesha and Conrad, are there other attributes or qualities, you know, that you use to kind of help make a selection or winnow down the options? I guess I'm thinking about size and location, but also, you know, things like client roster or, you know, previous relationships. What would you say on that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's been characterized well so far, but I do agree that, you know, it's in general to keep a good sense of what the landscape looks like, right? So again, there's no perfect contractor for any particular project. There's going to be pros and cons to every single one. And, you know, obviously if you have a previous relationship or within your network, you know, people have experience, right? So I do look at references. You know, I think looking at that and considering that as part of your selection criteria of what you're looking to do. I think also the capabilities within the team you have as the sponsor company, right? That's another consideration. Some CDMOs and CMOs are better at one thing or the other, right? Often could be lacking in analytical capability, or maybe they're strong in analytical capability. And so if you have or don't have that within your internal team, if you're at a small company, that's something to consider. How can they supplement maybe where you may have gaps? I think the other two things to consider: quality and compliance, right? So does the company have a transparent, a quality system, a compliance record? Because there's nothing that'll suck your resources more than if there's quality or compliance issues from a sponsor standpoint. And then again, the transparency and how you can envision the two companies working together from even just a company culture standpoint. That working team that is created between the sponsor company and the team that you work with from the contractor, you know, if that team is gelling, then that can really go to the success of your project.